Hope you brought your appetite, for stocks that is. Starting with McDonald's, which still generally holds on to its traditional status as a defensive stock with strong cash flow and dividend appeal. However, rising beef costs, softer consumer demand, and ongoing criticism around pricing and brand perception are weighing on sentiment, culminating in this year's sharp, essentially bearish engulfing peak that could be ready to fall further given the classic 3 methods falling candle pattern that formed in the past week with above-average volume. Meaning if price can close under its low within the next few days, the bearish balance can firmly weigh MCD under 300 into the summer to sustain the moderate to steep decline. On the bullish side, battle cries for a heroic return to 300 involve chants about McDonald's strategy to reignite growth by expanding into higher-margin specialty beverages, launching new refreshers, crafted sodas, and energy drinks nationwide. This move targets a fast-growing, profitable category dominated by competitors like Starbucks and Dutch Bros, while also aiming to attract younger customers and boost afternoon traffic. To do this, it's investing in in-store beverage specialists to improve execution. At the same time, McDonald's continues to lean on value offerings, introducing low-cost menu items to appeal to budget-conscious consumers. However, near-term performance may be uneven, with analysts expecting slightly weaker earnings due to slowing traffic and mixed industry data. Competitive pressure is intensifying, particularly from Burger King, which has gained momentum through product improvements and viral marketing. Social media stories and leadership perception have also influenced consumer sentiment. In contrast, current challenges are being looked past with cautious optimism because of outlooks for long-term growth driven by global expansion, digital sales, and margin improvements, though achieving this in a shifting and competitive landscape will be another story. Now, back to work with Team Blue, for you see, Zoom appears to be coming back in style. Thanks to tangible progress with its AI strategy, with the launch of AI Companion 3.0 and its Take Back Lunch campaign, aimed at helping workers reclaim time lost to meetings and fragmented workflows. Research shows many employees skip or shorten lunch due to heavy workloads and overlapping meetings, highlighting a broader productivity challenge in modern work environments. Zoom's AI Companion 3.0 addresses this by automating tasks before, during, and after meetings, including generating summaries, tracking action items, and coordinating follow-ups across platforms. The system integrates data from meetings, messages, and third-party apps to create a unified workflow, while also enabling proactive task management and real-time insights. The broader platform introduces agentic AI capabilities that turn conversations into actions, streamlining execution across business processes. Survey data suggests strong demand for such tools, with most AI users reporting meaningful time savings and many willing to use that time for breaks or improved work-life balance. Zoom is reinforcing this message through experiential marketing and its wider Zoom Ahead campaign, positioning itself as an AI-first workplace platform. In the bigger picture, Zoom is focusing on enterprise growth, AI monetization, and expanding its contact center and workflow automation offerings, aiming to compete in a large and evolving productivity software market while improving efficiency and user experience. It's this evolution from its video conferencing origins and popularity boom during the pandemic that help it stay relevant, furthering the case that price is well on its way to finding a great parking spot back over 100, even if it doesn't keep rising, with daily volume over 5 million to keep up the current steep incline and immediately proceed into the 110s nearing the first extension ranges. 110 already? Time for a snack. How about Hershey? It's been on a crash diet like its foodie friend McDonald's, you know, the whole pricing pressures thing. But Hershey is setting a good example for McDonald's to follow. It started 2026 by beating expectations with first-quarter revenue of about $3.1 billion and adjusted earnings of $2.35 per share, driven largely by pricing gains and solid seasonal demand, particularly around Easter. Core brands like Reese's and Hershey's performed well, with double-digit growth in non-seasonal sales, while premium chocolate remains a key focus for future innovation. Despite the strong results, challenges persist. Higher prices contributed to a slight decline in sales volumes, reflecting consumer sensitivity, while gross margins were pressured by rising input costs and tariffs. Some market share in North America was lost amid increased competition and saw weaker than expected performance in its snacks segment due to operational issues. Looking ahead, Hershey expects a modest dip in second quarter organic sales due to timing factors, but remains confident in stronger performance in the second half of the year, supported by product innovation and major seasonal campaigns. It also noted that broader economic pressures, including gas prices and geopolitical uncertainty, have had limited impact on consumer behavior so far. With a steady full-year outlook balancing near-term headwinds with confidence in long-term growth, some see the potential for selling to gradually cool down. Meanwhile, the Urban One is drawing attention ahead of Juneteenth, a period historically linked to speculative volatility driven by its low float and momentum-driven buying. At the same time, the company is pursuing growth by acquiring Dallas radio stations KKDA and KRNB while divesting KZMJ, expanding its market presence. Though recent financial performance has been weak, with declining revenue and ongoing losses, creating a mix of speculative interest and fundamental uncertainty that's summed up by the long-term downtrend, recently being paused by a failed descending triangle continuation. Now, since price rebounded off the $5 threshold again, a downtrend continuation can be staved off longer if price can clear $8 by the second week of May. In such a case, the next major barrier would be the $10 boundary. Over to X Energy, which is still settling down a week after its radioactive IPO. Chart-wise, we now have enough of a range to work with. Since the initial peak selling volume has steadily declined, nearing the natural strong support around the IPO price range. Some of the first fundamental forces at work involve LG and E and KU, which are partnering with X Energy to explore deploying XE100 small modular nuclear reactors in Kentucky to meet rising energy demand with reliable, carbon-free power. The effort aligns with growing state support, including new legislation and funding for nuclear development. SMRs offer flexible, scalable, and safer designs compared to traditional reactors, giving them increasing backing to help meet surging energy demand from AI data centers. X Energy also gains power from Amazon's investment in it as a customer to help deploy small modular reactors that can supply reliable, carbon-free power for Amazon's energy-intensive AI infrastructure. So if price can stay at or above 30 over the next 2 weeks as post-IPO volatility settles down, heading to new lows can be exchanged for another attempt at previous highs. On the space side of things, Planet Labs keeps soaring to new heights with the proliferation of accessible space-based imaging. So let's see if it can keep up this overall incline and steeper short-term channel and try to enter the 40s this month with volume closer to 20 million. Recent support sustaining its ascent involves partnering with Carbon Mapper, with support from Jet Propulsion Laboratory, to develop a specialized Tanager satellite focused on shortwave infrared sensing for enhanced methane and gas detection, planned for launch in 2028, with significantly expanded coverage. This builds on their earlier Tanager 1 mission, which has already detected thousands of methane plumes globally. Alongside this, Planet Labs is advancing planetary intelligence by running AI directly on satellites using NVIDIA hardware, enabling near real-time analysis in orbit. It's also scaling its Pelican satellite constellation, improving resolution, revisit rates, and rapid data delivery to support applications like environmental monitoring, disaster response, and resource management. Meanwhile, IREN has energized its 1.4 gigawatt Sweetwater 1 substation in Texas, connecting it to the ERCOT grid and marking a major step in developing its 2 gigawatt data center campus, with power ramping up as construction progresses. The milestone highlights its ability to rapidly deliver large-scale, grid-connected infrastructure amid growing AI-driven power demand. However, investor sentiment is mixed, with optimism about its vertically integrated model offset by frustration over the lack of major customer deals and limited communication. The stock remains volatile as traders await hyperscaler partnerships and its upcoming earnings release on May 7th. So it will be advantageous for bulls to see price clear the established downtrend lines before the summer to avoid further pressure on the long-term support range in the lower 30s. Going to GameStop, it's drawing renewed attention from speculation about yet another potential short squeeze, prompting an acceleration to the 30s in what's so far been a relatively bullish year. Other interest also comes from reports it might bid for eBay, reigniting meme stock enthusiasm reminiscent of 2021. CEO Ryan Cohen is reportedly pursuing a major strategic pivot, possibly transforming GameStop through acquisitions despite its smaller size. While some see long-term upside, others remain frustrated by limited deal clarity, volatile price action, and uncertainty about how exactly the two companies would combine in a beneficial way. As for eBay, it's generally been in the green too, as it consolidates into triple-digit prices. Aside from the GameStop connection, it's been received well for its latest quarterly results that beat expectations on revenue and gross merchandise volume. Growth was fueled by focus categories like collectibles, fashion, and electronics, along with rising advertising revenue and AI-driven platform improvements. So let's see if this channel can keep the momentum going, as it also invests in advertising, live commerce, and niche segments to sustain growth. Checking up on Gorilla some 2 weeks later, still sustaining upward momentum. Leading to increasing optimism, the prolonged bearish to neutral stance this year can give way to finally establishing over 15. Provided that daily buying volume can stay over 800,000 with at least 2 closes over 1570. Some current fundamental forces firing on the 15 threshold relate to lingering positivity around Gorilla's expanded partnership with Yotta Data Services in India through a $2.8 billion project to deploy over 20,000 GPUs by 2026, strengthening its role in large-scale AI infrastructure. The initiative includes major involvement from NVIDIA and supports growing demand for hyperscale and sovereign AI computing. Gorilla is also deepening its ecosystem by investing in Astrocos.ai to enhance real-time infrastructure intelligence, positioning itself as a key player in India's rapidly expanding AI and data center market. Hopping to Hyperscale data still on a long-term slide, but getting a break in the short term, with longer lower wicks in the past few days at previous support while volume remains quite low. So if price can't get over the latest downtrend line and close over 1420 with volume over at least 50 million, a further fall could be around the corner. Some reasons Hyperscale supporters huddle around it for at least a short-term surge have to do with it expecting Q1 2026 revenue of about $44 million, up 76% year over year, driven by contributions from subsidiaries including Gresham and Alt Lending, as well as steady performance across operations like crypto mining and equipment services. As a result, Hyperscale is considering raising its full-year guidance of $180 to $200 million, citing growing momentum across its AI infrastructure, digital assets, and diversified business platform. Now let's chat about Chatter's fast fall from reporting mixed Q1 2026 results, with revenue and EBITDA slightly declining and a loss of 120,000 internet customers amid strong competition. Growth in Spectrum Mobile and improved video customer trends offered some positives, while AI tools and network upgrades aim to enhance service and future performance. Despite solid cash flow and continued share buybacks, it faces ongoing pressure from competitive broadband markets and challenges in attracting new customers. Though on the bullish and technical side of things, the vast short-term overselling has led to increasing bullish to neutral conditions. So let's see if declining volatility will lead to a relatively stable range in the 160s to 180s. As the market digests and contemplates the longer-term prospects of this bearish conversation, as price starts to hover over these first extension ranges. Up to USA Rare Earth continuing to bounce back and ride positive waves about its agreement to acquire Serra Verde Group for about $2.8 billion, combining cash and shares, with the deal expected to close this year. The acquisition adds a major Brazilian rare earths mine, producing key magnetic elements, strengthening supply outside Asia. Backed by long-term offtake agreements and government-linked financing, the project is expected to scale production by 2027 and generate strong earnings, supporting efforts to build a secure global rare earth supply chain. This outlook is currently being represented by the recent contact and gradual closing over the established downtrend, with ample volume over 20 million. Meaning if price can keep above the downtrend lines and 24 over the next few weeks, firm entry into the 30s could follow into the second half of the year. Then to Zeta, delivering its 19th straight revenue beat, with Q1 revenue up approximately 50% to $396 million and raising full-year guidance, driven by AI adoption and enterprise customer growth. Its new Athena AI platform is accelerating marketing automation and usage, while vendor consolidation and proprietary data remain key advantages, helping it weather recent SaaS sector volatility and valuation concerns. Nonetheless, these broader forces still have an impact, so if it can't keep the steep incline towards the 20s this month, we could see a return to range-bound movement with relatively low volume, even as it shows accelerating growth, expanding pipelines, and improving margins because of some concerns of competition, integration, and macro uncertainty. Lululemon, lower and lower on sour sentiment since naming former Nike executive Heidi O'Neill as incoming CEO, sparking concerns about weak innovation and strategic missteps. Founder Chip Wilson is pushing for board overhaul, blaming governance failures for brand dilution and a $16 billion market cap decline from over $60 billion. Criticism circles around brand drift into non-core products and collaborations, while supporters argue the brand remains strong but needs a turnaround. Speaking of which, the short-term technicals tell a story of temporary bearish exhaustion emerging at the first extension ranges, opening up opportunity for slower selling with daily volume at or below 2.5 million, which, if achieved, could start a bit of a bounce if a few candles can form with longer lower wicks and closes over 130 over the next week.